What up? What up? Fantasy Football Hustler back at you, and we are bringing you fantasy news today. We're here with the Thursday crew on every day. That was my man Bogard Scott, free repping the GMM network.
Give me money.
Yeah, and then my man IDP IGGY, he's here every Thursday right before these games are getting started. So yeah, let's get it. What up, IGGY?
What's up, guys? Glad to be back here with you and my crew. Loving it, man. Happy Thursday.
Yeah, happy Thursday. Week 7 is upon us.
This is the 2 loud curve. You know what I'm saying? We're getting loud over here.
Oh, yeah.
Triple X Lex in the building. What up, bro? In the Noti gang. I like it. Said here for some good news. I hope today is, well, I mean, I know what the news is going to be, but I hope everybody thinks it's some good news. Got to start off with some ugly news, though, and it's all about yesterday's biggest topic, you know, the trade rumors between Watson and Tua and how it's going to be a 3-team trade and Tua was going to potentially go to Washington and all that. So many people came out yesterday after the show. We're talking big name people and said, no, it's all a fugazi. This is some beat reporter who's been kind of doing this multiple times, trying to will it into existence. Get the clicks and all that, and yeah, it's a fugazi
person.
I'm gonna go figure. Let me go figure out his name real quick, so we just remember never to take him seriously again. I'll find it here in a second.
You know what's funny about it all, though, is like what's funny about it all is like there is logic here. Like, you know, even though it'd be the first ever unprecedented 3-way trade in the NFL that I'm aware of, right? It makes sense, you know, if Washington could bring over a Tua, have him for 3.5 seasons, because, you know, obviously he's on a rookie contract, get the 5th-year option, right? And then, you know, they send a first for that, you know, because they intend on competing. So what's their first round? You know, a mid-range pick. They ain't tripping if they can get Tua out of that. And then, you know, Watson obviously will go to Miami. They give up multiple first-round picks, and I would assume as well as maybe an Xavier Howard, because you're going to need to clear some room, some cap space, obviously, to bring over a $40 million contract with Watson. You know what I mean? And then Watson's only owed like 16 this year, I think, something like that. Like, so, you know, it's just there's little nuances here where I'm like, wow, this might happen, but you know, it's just fantasy. And like, you know, I'm glad I didn't go crazy dropping like crazy, you know, players I need to get Watson. You know, I dropped like Geno Smith in one league, and it was a super flex. So I'm like, you know what? I don't feel bad about that.
Yes, I snatched him up in 2 leagues and dropped people who I didn't care about, who I probably would have dropped anyways. But here we go. Just for everyone who was on yesterday and we shouted out, it's Cody M. Davis. He's got the blue check. He's the beat reporter for multiple, for the beat reporter for the Texans for multiple newspapers out there. It's Cody, C-O-T-Y, Davis _24. So we're not believing him if we hear any other shit on Deshaun Watson. Crying wolf out there.
You know what's
but we need to get Watson somewhere else, man. He's not like in trouble yet. He's not suspended yet, right? We just got 6 weeks of one of the best QBs just sitting there not doing much. I mean, that sucks, man.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, gotta get him something.
And then, you know, if you really want to look into the nuances, right? Like, because I always love the intangibles, right? Like, you know, you got Ryan Fitzmagic there in Washington, and they could ask him, "Hey, man, you're the Harvard grad, you know, journeyman QB. What you think about Tua? You know, when you were there with him, and does he got it?" And he might have been like, "Yeah, the kid got it," or maybe he could say, "Hey, the kid don't got it." You know what I mean? They're like, "All right, pull the plug." You know what I mean? Or you know, you got Watson. He's like, "Man, I'll play in Miami." Because you know what goes, you know, in Miami, you know what I'm saying? You know, Miami, you know, not far from Houston as far as, you know, the pleasantries.
I mean, really, any major city that you kind of go to, you can get you can get whatever you want if you got money.
That's where the surgeries go down. So, you know, it just looked different out there, bro.
Yep. All right. So enough of that. We spent way too much time on Watson yesterday and this fake ass news from Cody Davis on Twitter.
Hot tea.
Screw you, Cody Davis.
All right. So for tonight's game, got a little bit of news. Teddy B expected to start. We'll just start about we'll talk about the Broncos side first. So Teddy B expected to start. They elevated John Brown to the active roster. He's going to be playing this week. Obviously, I don't think he's going to be that much of a thing right away, but I do think if you have an extra spot on your team, go pick up John Brown right now before this game, because if he hits, he's going to be a top waiver wire ad next week. I don't even care about Judy coming back. They need more pass catchers there.
Yeah.
That's
good for my best ball. I got John Brown in about, 4 or 5 best balls. He was just sitting there doing nada. So I need to get him back on there too. So
I love Smokey Brown. Shout out to John Brown.
And it's about to be 420 on the East Coast. So in lieu of Smokey John Brown, let's get it going.
There we go. No, yeah. And you know what? I watched film this morning for the podcast on the Denver Broncos. And Teddy Bridgewater, they ran a lot of play action. They're spreading a lot of people around. They want one-on-one matchups in these zones. Kind of the teams are playing a lot more zone. But they don't run like the bunch formation, the trips formation, stuff like that. They're relying on the fact that Fant's bigger, Sutton's bigger, and Teddy Bridgewater can most of the time throw an accurate pass. But let me tell you something. Melvin Gordon, too, he's their 2-minute guy. He can rack up a lot of yardage during this time if they go in before halftime or if they're down late in the fourth quarter. So watch out for Melvin Gordon. I know there's a lot of hype on Williams, rightfully so. When he gets loose, he can bust it. But they still trust Gordon more with pass protection, pass scheme, and third down control. So keep that in mind as well.
Melvin Gordon sucks. Yeah, well, of course he's the 2-minute man because he can't handle it for more than that. Damn it, we were talking about how he is so annoying for this backfield because he's good enough to play, but he's bad enough not to start. Like that's the thing that sucks.
They're paying him hella much. They're paying him a guap. So it's like you got to play him, right? If you're the Denver Broncos.
Yep. And so Big Kong, he says, I feel like this is a trap game for the Broncos DST. Well, I mean, I know that the Broncos, everyone's going to want to play the Broncos. They weren't rostered under 50%. So if you had them, you got to play them. I don't feel like it's that much of a trap game. I don't see the Broncos going over 20. The Browns going over 21 points. Neither team might go over 21 points. In this one, I think the Browns, even though you got Chubb out, you got Hunt out, I think they're still going to try to get the run game going. That's literally the only way they've been able to compete is by controlling the clock, running the ball a lot,
playing
defense.
You know what? Got Jedrick Wills. He's going to play. And it looks like Jack Conklin's probably not going to play. You know what I mean? And then you have the entirety of the team twos, right? So, I guess the bright side you could say is that they all play together all the time. This is the exact team, right? You know what I mean? You got the second quarterback, you got the second running back.
Third string running back.
You know what I mean? So maybe you got that going.
I wonder, does Kareem Hunt even run with the twos? Because it's like
no.
I'm so curious about that.
He runs with the ones. There's even listen. You know what's funny about starter? Last week the Packers against the Bengals, right? Or 2 weeks ago. You know what I mean? The first running back on the field was that guy Tyron Hill.
Yep.
They literally had him out and they threw a screen to him first play of the game. It was like, you know what I mean? Does that make him a starter? No. But, I'm just saying, Hunt is he's like the 1B. You know what I mean? But
that's personnel. 2 running back personnel,
Yeah.
Right? In your personnel grouping, obviously Felton is the Hunt version, right? And then vice versa with Dearness Scared Stupid.
Mm-hmm.
So other side of this. So for the Browns, Baker is expected to get surgery following the season. That's been out there, since yesterday. So hopefully you heard that. But it's really pain management, and he's been taking so many hits that he has a torn labrum. That's what this comes down to. Is if he gets hit a few more times, if it's the right hit, right spot, just badass defensive end, destroying him, he could be done for the season with literally any hit.
Yeah, dude. To bring it back to Denver, they're my second play of the week. Von Miller's up there. Him and Myles Garrett, both Texas A&M Aggies. They're playing against each other. They're going to want to get sacks. Von Miller needs to step it up. He's already went on the local radio stations here and said, I don't care who's across from me, because they were saying designated question tackles, like you just heard Bogard say. He's like, I didn't care who's across from me. I'm going to destroy them. So I just have a lot of faith in Von Miller and then him stepping it up in these moments and getting – you got to remember, Case Keenum's his old teammate. They always love sacking their old teammates, man. That's just how it is. That's how defensive people think, man.
And that's a little nuance there too. Is that like obviously you have the revenge narrative I like to push all the time, but you also have the fact that they played against this guy for a season. You know what I mean? Like practice against him every day. So yeah, it's kind of interesting here.
And one other piece is that yesterday we didn't know if Jarvis Landry was going to be activated or not. They really kept everything under wraps. He's officially been activated off the IR today, and he is expected to start.
Oh yeah, he's their only threat. I mean, he might help out OBJ some, but that's not what they do. They don't throw bombs. I mean, that's what Baker did. Case might do something a little different. We've seen him throw a huge bomb to Diggs and it pay dirt, but. That secondary is still pretty good. The weakness for the Denver Broncos is their linebacker. Johnson's out. They just lost Johnson for the year. They already had Joel out for the year. So there's a third string there, but their defensive line looks really good on the field. Their defensive line, even in a 3-4, still controls the line of scrimmage. So I think they're going to do good. Now there's a third string there, but
on the flip side, how we feel about just Cleveland's defense as a whole. Like I'm actually streaming their defense in one of my leagues because motherfuckers is holding multiple defenses, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna take Cleveland.
I mean, you gotta like their defense just because of the way that their whole scheme is. It's all about running the ball. It's all about playing defense. They don't have too many injuries over there. I mean, I know Joker, he just went on the IR. He was starting to kind of pick it up a little bit, but outside of that, they're pretty much at full strength right now. And you already know Thursday night, it's either the defense kind of fucking everything up and the offense is, kind of having some fluky plays. But I think that the Browns got too many good playmakers to really let a lot of fluky shit happen.
So
Clowney and Garrett, they're going to eat that offensive line. Bridgewater got hit or sacked so many times on the game film. That's not going to change this week. So,
and it's not like he was mobile like esque to begin with. And he's hobbled right now he's nursing that ankle. You know what I mean? So
everything is with his leg and his ankles that are the problem. So I don't think he's going to be moving around too much either way.
And they don't run like short routes. They run big, boom, Sutton, Patrick, Fant. They're all 10, 12 yards downfield when they catch the ball most of the time. So
yeah, they need those routes to develop for good old Teddy Roosevelt to stretch the field. But now he's going to have Garrett and Clowney just, you know what I mean?
Oof, scary.
I like it. Oh,
how about this real quick before we switch off of this game for Rendon? He said thoughts on Jerry Jeudy rest of season.
Have him and start him when he's healthy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think Jerry Jeudy comes back. I feel like helps Sutton also.
Yeah, and like now you have now you could have someone playing the short field intermediate routes more so because like Iggy just pointed out, a lot of the routes that they're going to right now that they're drawing up in the game plan is for these these outside receivers. You know what I mean? Like Judy's going to add a different dynamic.
Yeah, he's got separation to work. Not a lot.
Like I remember who was it when they had Manny Sanders over there with Pat Shurmur? You know what I mean? Or when Pat Shurmur was back in with Adam Thielen in Minnesota. He just the slot guy eats in that role. They just don't have a guy like that right now until Judy's back. You know what I mean?
And Judy's definitely the best route runner that they have. Like I remember seeing stuff in like the preseason, on social media. Like he's roasting guys. Like he's pulling up a triple move within like 7 yards of the line of scrimmage. Like it's ridiculous the routes that he's got in the tree. Like I can't wait to see him get back.
I just hope he's not like Anthony Miller.
Hell no. No way. Not even anywhere in the same like stratosphere.
No, because Anthony Miller was one of those guys like he get the little separation in small tight areas and he just never panned out.
Yeah, I'm thinking Judy will do well. There's too many other weapons there. They can't just focus on him.
I can't discredit Judy to last year because he was getting a ton of separation with the ball going the other way.
And he had like, what was it, like the worst like deep ball, like catchable ball percentage or something like last year?
It was like 50. He had a 48 catch percentage because 52 of his targets were deemed uncatchable or something like that. Either way, that's more than half.
Yeah. So you're lucky if at that point, you're lucky if you have a catchable ball if it's less than half.
Don't be Anthony Miller.
Don't be Anthony Miller. That is your advice of the day from us. Don't be Anthony Miller. All right, for the Bucks. Not really too much to talk about here necessarily, but Gronk, he was running at practice only. So, I mean, I think he's officially did not practice because since he's only running. Antonio Brown, Levante David, and JPP all not practicing as well.
I don't think Brown plays this game. I think this is a game they feel like they might be able to handle this game because they're so loaded. You know, they even have the fact that they're working in OJ Howard more. You know what I mean? Like it's just like, you know, I could see a world where Brown doesn't play this game.
Yeah, you know, it's funny you said working in OJ Howard more because it used to be like working him in like 0%. And what do you have like the last game, like 2 targets or something?
The last game, I think he had 6 receptions, a tug, and like 60 or something like that.
Last game it was?
Yeah.
Maybe that was 2 games ago.
I started the wrong break. I started break last week, and I was like, "Fucking!" Now this week I got Howard.
Oh, you know what? That was the Thursday night game. I'm mixing up my weeks. Yeah, last week 6 receptions, 49 yards, and a touchdown.
Yeah.
Thursday night fluky shit.
Right.
It went over Brait.
Definitely over Brait. Yeah, Brait's not getting shit there. I thought that him and Tom had a little bit of a connection, you know, because it seemed like last year and then even in the first game where Gronk missed, he went to him a couple times, and I don't think he's gotten a target since then. I don't even know what happened.
I think Brait once this year, right?
He said, what'd you say?
I think he's got a tug one time this year too, right?
Yeah, that was in that first game that Gronk was missing.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. And then for the Bears, still no news or anything from the Bears. No news about Damien Williams as of yet. Still in COVID protocol for all that I know. Someone was asking about that in here.
What about Robert Quinn? Robert Quinn too, right?
Yep. He just got added yesterday or Tuesday, one of the two. So yeah, he's probably not going to play this week.
And he was, you know what's funny? They were finally using him correctly because I know it's not Chuck Pagano anymore. It's like Desai or whatever his name is. And from what I know, he's like, you know, he spent time with Fangio. So like, you know what I mean? And, you know, Fangio gets creative, you know what I mean, with his pass rushing. They had Quinn getting active, man.
Didn't catch this one, but Marco said, talk to me about Tim Patrick. I think you got to start him tonight.
I'm an owner. I'm starting him. You know, I don't really it's not my best positions in this particular league, but I have him and I'm starting him. You have to start him with confidence. He gets a lot of targets. He throws the ball too.
Yeah, I mean, he's on a bye weeks. You know, there's not too many people you would start over him. You know what I mean?
Axelcution making some claims for tonight. Said, I'm calling it 2 picks, 10 points allowed for the Denver defense. All right, 2 picks and only 10 points allowed. And he said, I expect to have a huge game. I expect OBJ to have a huge game off reverses and trick plays.
Isn't he like not playing?
He's questionable for the game. He's a game time decision. So we don't even know if he's going to play tonight.
You know what, though? You know what helps his claim about OBJ is that the queso, he will like just pepper the guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's the veteran that knows like, all right, I'm going to target my playmaker. You know what I mean? When Baker's just, he makes smart decisions. You know what I mean? Like this is cases of backup.
Awful throws on smart decisions. I'm not going to get it. I'll throw it in the dirt or 8 yards away.
But you know what, though? Do you think a lot of it has to do with the shoulder? You know what I mean? Like, look at how bad it looked when he had a partially torn. Now he has a completely torn labrum. Like you know, even just clutching the ball. Like, if I'm a defender, I'm just come up, slap his arm. Slap his left arm.
People that are all like, oh, it's his off shoulder. Go out there, grip any kind of ball, and really throw it. Like, torque your hips and throw it. And you tell me if you don't feel it, anything in your other shoulder. You're going to feel it.
And please tell me how easy it is for any NFL player to not take anything to your shoulder, like anything at all, just any kind of contact to that shoulder.
A bad snap. A bad shotgun snap. Like all that stuff, dude.
Bro, man, even when you make a play, your dumbass homie's gonna forget. He's like, "Yeah, man," slap him on the shoulder. Oh shit!
They're already like a foot taller than his ass too. So yeah.
just bumping into him.
For everyone leaving start sit questions in, appreciate you guys. We're going to answer some of those. We're just going to knock out some of the news real quick first. But if you want to get your question answered right away, just leave it in YouTube as a super chat, and then you automatically come right next up in the queue. And then we also got at 6:30 Eastern today, we're doing a live Q&A, get you ready for a Thursday night game. So either way, we got you.
Woo!
All right, here's some good news. We'll get to some good news before we get back to some bad news. Washington.
Good news. We need like a good news button.
Antonio Gibson, Terry McLaurin, Ricky Seals-Jones are all back at practice today.
Yes, Thursday. We are on track. Let's go. It's a big game. It's a defense that you could exploit with all these specific playmakers.
Easy now.
Hey, you can run. So you mean to tell me Khalil Herbert is so legendary? I'm just saying, like, you could run on them. So we like this for Gibson. You know what I mean?
No, I agree with you. I have McKenzie in a lot of leagues, so I've fired him up in a lot of starting leagues. Keeping all the BS aside. Well, this was before Gibson. He didn't practice all this week, and and he went out last week. So this kind of changes my league. McKenzie, I'm a McKenzie truther, just because of where you got him in all the drafts. But if Gibson plays, you got to put McKenzie back on a back burner because it's a bye week. I'm sure a lot of people have McKenzie after his last couple performances, and you got to take that with the bitter pill, man. Gibson's RB1. That's just how it is.
I still think that he has a standalone role. So, like, I'd still play him because I like to – this is a defense, Washington, that's giving up, 300 yards through the air every game? Rodgers about to shred him up. It's going to be a negative game script. So, I can see it, both of them eating, maybe Gibson's the one that gets the goal line carries, and he might get, 11 to 12 carries on the ground. But, this – I see a negative game script coming, so J.D. McKissic is still a start for me, regardless.
Especially PPR. Let me put it to you this way, guys, real quick. McKenzie or Gainwell? Who are you taking?
Say it again.
McKenzie or Gainwell?
Points per relay.
PPR, half point PPR, whatever.
Probably McKenzie. Gainwell's been doing nothing.
I own both of them. That's why I'm asking you.
It's funny because I'm I was like, have I been saying his name wrong the whole time? I'm like, is it McKenzie? I'm like, oh no,
McKissic.
I'm calling him
McKenzie sounded cooler.
It really did.
Yeah, even if Gibson plays, it doesn't matter. McKissic, he has been kind of 1 week on, 1 week off, but I'd expect at least 40% of the snaps and touches for him. So I'm close to it. And for everyone who's kind of tracking, everyone who doesn't know all the teams that are on bye, just in case, Bills, Cowboys, Vikings, Steelers, Chargers, Jaguars.
There's some in that Tyrannosaurus Flex League. I'm like, okay, I have a chance to win this matchup, but I'm like, I could also try to trade for Dak right now, and just then come back with Dak and Josh Allen. You know what I mean? But I'm like, I would have to move Stafford and take the L this week. But I'm like, I would have Prescott and Allen in a 1 point for every 15 passing yard league. You know what I mean? I kind of want that.
You just keep making all those moves and tinkering with your team. You're just going to tinker it into the toilet. That's what I see happening.
I do that shit all the time.
Well, let's do it. It just helps my case because I'm tied for first in that league. So let's get it. All right, let's see.
Hold on, you're behind me in that league.
I said tied for first. I didn't say I'm in first. Yeah.
We're all tied for first. You're right.
Yeah. So
that's the thing. I don't see that. I don't like that. There's only one.
Ooh, and I'm going up against a 5-1 team, but they got a grip of players on bye. Yeah. Let me see. Just for shits and giggles. Let's see. Yep, I'm behind you. I'm so close behind you by 50 points. I'm on a 2-game losing streak, though. We're turning that around this week.
Yeah, you're about to smack that dude. I already seen your matchup. You're about to smack him up.
Oh yeah, and he's in first. He's overall in first place. So yeah, time to leapfrog.
Yeah, that's a Candlestick Kid in the other league. That's my brother-in-law.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's won this league 3 years in a row.
All right, plus that. Now this matchup means more than anything right now. Oh, yeah, we're taking him off his high horse.
Yeah,
all right. So we got some news with the Colts. We'll get back to some bad news now. So T.Y. Hilton, he's not practicing, and the coaches say he's 50-50 to play this Sunday versus the Niners. It's the Sunday night game. Like, you're not playing him unless we get some kind of news like tomorrow that he was like limited and he's for sure playing on Sunday.
He's a DFS play at best. You don't put him in your redraft lineups unless you're really hurt and you have a guy you could pivot to, like I don't know, let's say like a Ross Dwelly or something. You know what I mean? So make
do not pivot to Ross Dwelly ever.
What other options is there?
That's what I'm saying. If that's your option to pivot to, like, don't do it.
Devin D for the Ravens.
I mean, and then who plays on Monday? You know what I mean?
Saints and the Seahawks. So you could get hella lucky and grab the random Saints guy who does something.
Yeah, Deontay Harris or something like that, or like a Joanna Man Johnson.
Yeah, so this is my piece of advice. Don't start T.Y. Hilton.
Yeah, don't do it.
Already be expecting to start someone else this week.
Unless if you want to wait that out and there's a Zach Pasquale, I might do that because I think Zach Pasquale is actually like usable in deeper leagues or even just as a stretch flex. You know what I mean? If there's no T.Y.
I've owned both of them. I still have T.Y. right now. I've got him on the bench. I've waited it out. The original Mr. Limp-A-Lot. He's back on the same thing, man. I don't know what all I can do with him, but you can't play him this.
50-50 means he's going to be on a pitch count regardless.
Well, yeah. Sunday night, yeah, it's bad. Sunday night too. It's bad.
Yeah.
Yep. We're not messing with it. Not messing with it. And even Zach Pascal, I don't even know if I'd want to play him because when T.Y. Hilton wasn't there, outside of that random game where he got 2 touchdowns, he's been flex worthy, maybe at best in a hell of deep.
Campbell too, though. There's no Paris Campbell, and they don't have random Marquise Johnson. Remember him? Like he's gone too. Like he's plays for another team now. So it's just like
Paris Campbell's out too.
Yeah, Paris Campbell's out too. That's what I'm saying. So Zach Pasquale as the French pronounce it, a Pasquale. Right?
Paris Campbell, outside of the one game where he got 6 targets, it's not like he's got 17 targets on the entire season.
It's also the matchup.
Can we agree that the Colts are going to beat the 49ers or no? What's going to happen there?
I know Bogard wants that to happen. Make sure his team keeps getting closer to a high draft pick.
I mean, you know what though? But the reality is, we don't even have some first round picks, so it don't matter. I'm like, I don't even know what I want for my team. I want it all.
Shout out to Vanessa. What up? Said with Jarvis Landry being activated, I'm worried that Peoples-Jones may not get that many targets. Should I stick with him or pick up Tim Patrick, Tyler Boyd, Robbie Anderson, or Callaway? I'm saying pick up Tim Patrick.
I like Callaway.
I like Patrick. Maybe Boyd. Boyd, it's just a lot of mouths to feed over there in Cincinnati. But
why are we all big on? Everyone's big on Jameis Winston this week because he's playing against Seattle. I like Callaway. There's no Michael Thomas still. Callaway finds the end zone.
Saints are too hit or miss for me. I talk about their defense is going to win on this game this week. I just don't know. Eventually, you think at some point they're just going to give the ball to Kamara 20 times, but
hit, miss, and so forth, right? So the last game hit, then they had the bye week. So maybe we could trick the system here, right? And
that was supposed to be the miss. I like your thinking.
This week's one of the on weeks.
Oh man, Steven in the building. Titans for life. What up, bro? He said, "What up, my guy Hustler and my girl Mariah." He's gonna steady keep messing with Bogart.
Hey man, Mariah is the GOAT, bro. Never disrespect my girl.
Hey, I mean, at least if you're Mariah, you're on fire, right? That's one thing we know.
She had the song. I used to like the song as a kid, and I didn't know I loved fantasy. But she said, "Sweet, sweet fantasy, baby."
Oh man, we got to figure out how to add that in some drops.
Yeah, that's gotta be a drop too, man.
Oh yeah, it's got to be one that we bring back. Sal in the building. What up, bro?
What up, Sal?
Oh, yeah, that's the big-time joint. Said Tyreek Hill is banged up. Oh, yeah, he didn't practice today. Is one of the pieces we were going to be talking about. I would say for someone like him, I mean, Friday practice is probably the only practice that means anything.
Yeah. they're 3-3. They need him. It's not like they're in position to sit him unless they're seeing something else with the game plan, with their personnel. Like, okay, maybe Robinson's in the mix more. Hardman, actually, I should say rather, right? Hardman has been in the mix a lot because Hardman is like the discount version of Hill, right? He has the 4.4 speed, not the 4.3 speed, but you know what I mean. But they could utilize him in the same fashion while meanwhile everyone's trying to just bracket Tyreek Hill. You know what I mean?
Yep. So either way, if Tyreek Hill plays, you're playing them. Not much you can really do about it there.
Just always be prepared. Have someone to go to if you're not going to have them, because what I mean. Like that's what's crazy too. A lot of people this week got a lot of teams on a bye. Then the players that they do have that they can start all banged up. You know what I mean? Like, all bad.
We're
all getting through it.
You can handcuff wide receivers too, particularly if their quarterback's name's Mahomes. It's all right to have more than one of those guys. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. And JC Money Design. Oh, and he's talking about our What If series here. He says, "What if Case Keenum finishes as a top 12 fantasy QB this week?"
I'll be livid pissed.
Like it's gonna be one of the quicker games of the week because there's two teams that's gonna want to run like a lot, so the clock's gonna run down. So I think it's defensive, run the ball, field goals.
We got four players here that, well, at least 3 that are for sure always inside the top 12, and then 2 other guys who can kind of flirt with it, here and there. So I think just Allen being out, Herbert being out, Dak being out, I mean, that's 3 positions inside the top 12. We're going to see some new QBs in there.
Yeah, I just hope it's not him. I mean, even the bookies have it at like a 41-point line, which is like one of the lowest lines of the year. So he would have to do it some kind of like on 3 touchdown effort, and that'd be the reason they won like 21-17 or something, which could happen. I don't see it. Not against that secondary. Not against Darby, Surtain. Just don't see it.
I mean, going back to Vanessa's question earlier about Donovan Peoples-Jones being affected with Landry playing, like Landry plays the slot. Landry actually gets taken off the field a ton because they run 12 personnel. So, Donovan Peoples-Jones and OBJ, if he plays, those would be the guys out on the outsides when they're running 12 personnel. So I don't think Donovan Peoples-Jones is affected by someone like a Jarvis Landry. But having Jarvis Landry, you're going to be able to triculate the ball down the field. Like if say they can't get the run going, the short passing game is going to have to do it, right? You know what I mean?
But you said you stuck someone else over him though, right? Out of that bunch?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, so Donovan Peoples-Jones, he was going to be a volume play at best. Like even last week, I mean, the fluky tight end, the fluky touchdown at the end of the second half. Like how often some shit like that, gonna happen. It was nice, but we just can't expect things like that to happen. All right, we're just gonna knock out the rest of these news stories here because nothing is really that important. Then we're gonna get to some of your guys' questions before we get out of here. So for the Bengals, Samaje Perine activated off COVID reserve. For the Lions, TJ Hawkinson back at practice on limited basis. Dallas Goedert activated off COVID reserve. He was only running at practice though. Wasn't doing too much. For the 49ers, Jimmy G is practicing. They say he's trending towards playing this Sunday. Alex Collins, he practiced today on a limited basis. So that's kind of an upgrade from what we heard a little bit earlier in the week that Carroll said that it just wasn't looking good. Friday is going to be most important for all this practice news anyways.
Well, I mean, Saturday too for him specifically because they play on a Monday, you know what I mean? So yeah.
Even more important, the Saturday practice is the Friday practice for the Monday player.
So this is good that he's limited today because this is like their win. So I like this for Alex Collins. I actually have means to wait on Alex Collins in some leagues because I'm so hurt, and I'm like, I have DJ Dallas to pivot, but I'm thinking DJ Dallas. If you're going that deep, he's probably the play.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Infamous Winston this week, and he's gonna shred him up. And you know what I mean? That negative game script, have them hurry up. And Gino ain't really throwing down the field. You feel me? He's just dinking it.
It's coming. DJ, man. It's coming. All right, for the Titans. Hopefully there's not too much reading into this, but AJ Brown, he didn't practice. King Henry didn't practice, but he hasn't been practicing on Wednesday and Thursday like the entire year. But he's the king. He doesn't even need to show up on Wednesday and Thursday. Just watch the film, and you focus. That's it. So AJ Brown, we're just gonna need to see tomorrow what's going down with him.
Julio, nothing, right? He's still out or what?
Nothing about Julio. I believe he got in on a limited basis today.
Man, this is, I call it the Rulio. The Rulio is don't ever have Julio. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I had him last year. That was my first and only year. That was it, Burned me once. That's it, bro.
He's long in the tooth. That's what this is. Like
those years are long gone. The years to have Julio. You know what I mean?
One really big championship that I won, and shout out to Julio because he was on it. 2012. This was a big one. This is a league that I've been getting my ass kicked in the last couple years, and I've literally had the most points against in the last 3 years. And it was a 0 RB team because my first 3 picks, 2 QB league, Aaron Rodgers, Brandon Marshall, and Julio Jones. And that was the year that Brandon Marshall was the #1 wide receiver in the league, and Julio was like top 3. That was like one of his most dominant years. And I believe that was his 2nd year in the league, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe his 3rd year.
That's a lot like my 2011 squad: Aaron Rodgers, Calvin Johnson, Brandon Marshall. So that was just like, I was on the road. I was going to see my family. My uncle's like, "Who do you have?" I told him. He's like, "Oh, you're good. Don't worry about the rest of the game." He's like, "You can just drive safe."
Oh yeah. And then last piece of news before we start reading some of your questions here, before we get up out of here, we got for the Giants. So Evan Ingram added to the injury report today with the calf injury. Didn't practice. He was one of my big sits of the week with all these tight ends out to not fall for the Evan Ingram Fugazi show. And didn't practice. Sterling Shepard added to the injury report. Hamstring flared up again. So tomorrow is going to be super important for him. But you never like hearing on Thursday that a guy's been added to the injury report, especially a flare-up like a hamstring. And then
here's my secret DFS play, because where else was the ball going to go to? But now I don't even know. I don't know.
Galladay, Barkley, Tony, none of them practiced today. We already knew Galladay and Barkley. Tony, I don't know if he's going to play this week. Some reporter kept bringing up like IR and trying to get the coaches to admit one way or the other if he was going to go on IR. And they said there's been 0 conversations about him going on it, but we shall see.
We'll have to see. It's rookie injury, long seasons. It's not a good mix. So
yeah.
Hey, I want to ask you too.
Real quick, Steven, what up, bro? Said my friend Hugh J Nissan says, what's good? What up, bro? Thanks for the super chat. And Stu in the building. What up, bro? Says on my iPad, but he says this really live. We are live, bro. We are live. We're just reading off we're doing all the news right now, all the brand new stuff that is coming in. So we're going to start answering questions for the last 15 minutes. I think that's how we're going to start doing it. First 45 minutes is news. Last 15 minutes is questions. Oh, and Steven C doubling up with the super chats. Thanks, bro. And Mr. Ladd in the building. What up? What up? Getting to everyone's questions here real quick. Go ahead, Iggy. What were you saying?
How do you feel about Merciless going to the Packers? Did y'all talk about that at all yesterday? You think it's insignificant, or because they're loading up? That all of a sudden, as a Packer fan, after about a decade of that being our worst defensive position and the reason we're losing, all of a sudden with Jair out, with Kevin King out, specifically inside linebacker, because we have Smith out as well. And now they're bringing Merciless in for some reinforcement, but the linebacker room is really beefed up. So how do you guys feel about Merciless going to Green Bay?
I love it because, like, if Merciless can just be a rotational guy and get in there, like, on 3rd downs or, you know what I mean? And just be, like, super, super fresh every time he's on the field. You know what I mean? I think that's – and then what, are you guys going to get Za'Darius back?
Supposedly. He may go under surgery. I didn't know if that's what is prompted. If they're kind of being on hush-hush on that. So
Yeah, because I was gonna say that's kind of odd because they never put him on IR, so I was just waiting. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they didn't do that, so I don't know.
Yeah,
yeah. I mean,
he's
been pretty hit or miss, with Houston this year, but he's already got 3 sacks. Got one in week 1 versus Winston. Got one versus San Fran in week 4, and then got one in Pittsburgh in week 5. I mean, really no tackles. I mean, if he's someone who can just focus, just rush the passer, literally don't focus on anything else. And yeah, you're going to be on maybe a smaller snap count, smaller snap percentage, whatever. And maybe you can just focus a little bit more on that. If he's getting a sack every other game, something like that, and just bringing pressure, the QB hits, definitely going to make a difference for the Packers. Especially when like Jair Alexander comes back, like now you got a line that's actually like getting to the QB quick, and like guys aren't going to be able to go through like multiple progressions and they just start throwing it up.
Yeah.
Like be more eaten for Jair.
If he stacks with Kyle Lowry on like a second or third down and they're both coming and they both hit the outside gap, that's going to be pretty wet. That's going to be nasty. So we'll just have to, because the other side's either going to be Gary Smith or Preston Smith. So, he's going to have some opportunities, I think, as well, especially if Green Bay plans on playing from up, which I think that's the plan.
I like Whitney.
Whitney, baby.
It definitely isn't a bad move. We'll say that. If the choice was, is it a good move or a bad move, it's a good move because Packers have always lacked on the pass rush. Like, I mean, guy like Smith, last year, like that just definitely stuff like that is not happened often.
That was like 2 years ago. They brought over both Preston Smith and Zadarius Smith at the same time. And like, Mike Penton is just the bonehead coordinator, in my opinion, too. You know what I mean? And then like, look at just little change helps that much because I don't even know who their coordinator is now, but it's definitely better.
Yeah, he's a linebacker. I mean, look what he's done with Campbell. Arizona drafted Collins so they could let Campbell walk, and Campbell's been a stud. So
let's rapid fire these questions now. We're not really going to give too many thoughts behind it. We'll just give the names. So for my man Zeb in the 420 crew, what up? He said Corduroy, Pimpin Patterson, or Josh Jacobs. Corduroy for me easily.
I love it going into a deep conversation about no Cordell for me, man.
Get it. Zeb said thoughts on the Browns D tonight. I think they flirt with top 12 like pretty easily, and that's really what you want out of your defense, really to finish somewhere in the top 12.
I think they're top 5 right now. I don't see them finishing below top 16 of the week, So if you need somebody, go get them.
There we go. Execution, Debo or Mike Evans? As of right now, I think so. Mike Evans it might be a smaller sample size. Or not smaller sample size, but just smaller target. But if Antonio Brown is out, I'm going Mike Evans for sure. If Antonio is out,
I mean, right? With Mike, even with Antonio there, when you play Mike Evans, you're probably you're looking for the touchdown, right? I mean, he hasn't had a volume. I mean, like I think he had 7 receptions like a couple weeks ago, and since then it's kind of non-existent, right? But Debo is hella gadgety. You know what I mean? How many his 2 big plays this year were literally on busted coverages, you know what I mean? So it's like I don't really know what to take from him. But it is Jimmy. If it's Jimmy, I do like what we're gonna do if it's Jimmy. You know what I'm saying?
You're gonna have to come back for this one later in the week. Because really it's probably the Antonio Brown news that he might miss is making me even like want to go that way.
I mean, I think I'm going to tilt Mike Evans just for like most sakes, but Debo's ahead. They target Debo. They draw plays for Debo. If he's going to have Willis on him all game, he's going to be in for a long game, I think. But I got to just go with Mike Evans either way, even if AB's back.
Isn't their secondary kind of banged up too right now, Indy?
Yeah, but Willis is there. Blackman's there. So,
Yeah, Rock Ya-Sin didn't even practice today. That was something else that came in. I know only some people care about that. So the Friday news is really important for him. My man Matt recently joined the 420 crew on YouTube. What up, bro? Make sure you're using those emojis. He didn't even know that when you join as a YouTube member, you get like some dope 420 crew emojis. So yeah, make sure you're using those. And he said, what's good, brother? Khalil Herbert Callaway, Robbie Anderson, Henry Ruggs for the flex this week. Need a boom.
Ruggs.
Yeah, if you want the boom, if you want like the floor play, it'd probably be Herbert because it looks like Damien Williams ain't gonna play.
Herbert ain't going nowhere against those Bucks defense. Top rated rush defense.
If he can catch a couple balls, but you're right. I'm not gonna bank on that either though.
Yeah, I think the biggest boom play would be Callaway this week. I mean,
I like the Callaway. Oh yeah, I didn't know Callaway's in there. I'm going Callaway. He needs a boom play.
I'm going Henry against the suspect Philadelphia secondary.
Literally, as we're talking about Damien Williams, Adam Schefter just tweeted that Damien Williams still on COVID reserve. He was not at practice again today and can't be cleared until Saturday at the earliest because he's unvaccinated. So Saturday, that's when we will know if he's going to play or not.
I feel bad for dude, man, because he's probably. I mean, having COVID, obviously, I hope he gets well soon. But man, remember he was one of the guys that was first to opt out last year because he was like, "Fuck that." He was like, "I'm opting out." And I think his mom was fighting or battling cancer.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, this is just, and he ain't vaccinated too. So I just don't even think he plays.
I don't think so either.
I'm going Ruggs, Robbie Anderson close to.
That would be dope. Like that'd be dope if you could just count Robbie Anderson and Henry Ruggs as one player.
Oh yeah, but I didn't know if you knew, but Stu's actually in the chat right now, hanging out with us.
Shout out to Stu.
Yeah, throwing those 420 crew emojis in there. Yeah.
And
Steven, man. Steven's killing it today on the super chat. So I don't know if you guys heard yesterday, but everybody who leaves a $5 super chat or more at any time on any live stream, you get an extra entry into the Alex Highsmith signed jersey. So I think that's why Steven is going a little bit crazy today. I appreciate it, bro. And then Matt, you locked another one in there too. Yeah, this perfect time to show it up real quick here.
Hey,
Nation.
Check this out. Oh yeah, with the Steeler inscribed with the Steeler Nation on it. Oh yeah, this is gonna be fire for anybody's little sports cave or whatever.
You know what's cool? We were like, we were like, he'll do better. He hasn't really done nothing. And in the last game, he showed up like crazy.
Oh yeah.
Finally. So he was like, we're pushing your joint, B.
Oh man, and Steven, super chat well spent, because this is the only time I'd actually do some research for someone. It's a kicker question. Cleveland kicker, we're streaming. Zerline on bye, Suck Up Badgley, Gonzalez, McPherson, Koo, all available as well.
Ooh, go get Koo. Go get Koo against the Dolphins. The Dolphins haven't been able to stop anybody. They play on their own side of the football field all the time.
Yeah.
Go get Koo right away, man. And keep Zerline too. Yeah, stash Zerline because then you're on the Cowboys offense and all they do is put up points. So I would get Koo and keep Greg the leg and then just drop Koo after this week. But he should get you some points against the Dolphins.
I would rather play Koo the rest of the way, even if you're just gonna, so you just don't have to deal with it. You know what I mean? Because Greg the leg's hella inconsistent. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but Koo's not that guy anymore.
But you know what?
The Falcons just don't score a lot of points, and if they're usually having to play from behind so they can't kick field goals, Cowboys are going to get a lot of points.
This past week, and who knows, maybe it's something, maybe it's a trend moving forward, but Koo never had more than 6 points in a game. He only had single digits, like in the first 4 weeks. And then he had the double-digit game versus the Jets, and then now they got the bye, and then now they're back to Miami.
You know what's funny? I stream kickers every week anyway, so like, you know what I mean? But I'm like even the idea of holding on to Greg the leg, that's just so alien to me. Like I'm not holding a kicker like ever until I have to start one. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, the good thing about Koo is, like you said, he's got his bye week out of the way too. So that's just one advantage I like looking at. You have your kicker the rest of the year that's going to be good and get you some points. So. If you like to stream. If you get in a bigger league, sometimes it's better just to have a kicker and roll with it.
The year that Koo blew up, I think that was 2019. I think it was, and that was when then he was consistent through 2020 as well. But like it was because their red zone efficiency was so bummed. Like they could move the ball, they get down there, they can't punch it in, so then they kick the field goal. You know what I mean? And then the next year they bring in Todd Gurley, and it's like then he just kills everyone fantasy value because they're running it in with Gurley. You know what I mean?
So I'm just gonna say just ride Koo's hot leg right now, and let's hope that what we saw versus the Jets is gonna be a thing to come in the future. But you know what's really been hurting Koo's value, right? Corduroy Pimpin' Patterson scoring those touchdowns. Like that's really what's been hurting his value. Only getting extra points because of him.
Yeah, exactly.
Pimpin'.
And Big BS said, is there any Seahawks running back news? Yeah, we covered it a few minutes ago that Alex Collins actually got back to practice. So he limited basis, but they play on Monday. So this is like their Wednesday practice. So pretty good. Let's see. Let's knock out some more questions. Let's rapid fire some of these. Let me get back to where we were. Almost. Where are we?
Yeah, good nap, huh?
Danielito, start Deontay Johnson or Herbert? I'm going DJ.
Deontay Johnson. Yeah.
Wait, who's this? Deontay Johnson?
Deontay Johnson or Khalil Herbert?
Deontay Johnson's on a bye.
Oh, yeah, he is on a bye.
Yeah. Pittsburgh is on a bye.
This is a trick question.
He threw us a curveball there.
Trying to see how high we are right now, but yeah. Khalil
Obviously
Herbert.
Not high enough. I just found out.
or they're high and didn't even pay attention. Hops in my cup. Dearness or Tim Patrick tonight? This is a good one.
I don't know. I kind of like Dearness. Just it's like they're a team that wants to run. They're gonna attempt to do it the first half before things get out of hand, and then the off chance that it goes in their favor, they're gonna run the whole way. I like Dearness.
I think Dearness is safer. I feel like Tim Patrick's more of like the boom play.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to say it. Dearness has the best floor, especially in PPR. Tim Patrick could catch 6-7 passes and a touchdown. That would be hard for Ernest. What is it? Ernest goes to camp? I mean, whatever you're saying, man.
Dearness goes to prison. there's all of them.
Depending on how he does is going to be his nickname, on Monday. Like, it's really what it is.
There we go.
Or Friday.
Hey, shout out to Clock Management. He actually just shot me I saw
that. That's fire.
What is it called? He did an edit for me. It's Dearness Johnson, but it's the cover from Dearness Scared Stupid.
Yeah.
There we
go. Damn, and Triple X Lex says what's about to drop Michael Carter to pick up a wide receiver in order to fill wide receiver slot I needed because of injury. And I guess God is watching because in that moment someone offered me T. Higgins for Michael Carter.
Hey,
gotta shop players like that.
And you know what too? This is probably his game. If they're gonna consider Jamar Chase, the guy they need to dedicate Marlon Humphreys to, that whoever's that other guy usually eats on them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, Deshaun Elliott should shut down CJ Uzzi-Manzada. But yeah, so somebody else is gonna have to get open.
Yeah.
What up, Marcos on Facebook said, love the show. Half point PPR, Cortland Sutton, double barrel Darrell Williams, or corduroy Pimpin' Patterson. Man.
How many?
Yeah,
I'm going Pimpin'.
Yeah, you got to. He's been so efficient. He can go for multiple TDs.
And Miami is all bad on defense right now. Like
that's what it is for me. Miami doesn't have a match. Who are they going to put on Patterson? Doesn't matter where they line him up. Nobody can guard him. And I have Sutton. I have money on Sutton to score touchdown tonight. So I should tell you how much I feel good about Patterson.
And I think we all think that double barrel Darrell Williams has a shot to go in the hit some pay dirt easily with Kansas City any game he plays.
Yeah. Actually, that's a tough one.
I forgot. Hold on, man. This is tougher.
That's a pretty tough question.
Well, and things we're not going Cortland Sutton. Like either way, like so you'll be able to come back tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday. We got a lot more Q&As coming up. We're actually doing 2 Q&As on Saturday now, one in the afternoon and then one at night.
Yeah, because that one, I mean, yeah, he's on an offense that has zero problems moving the ball. You know, double barrel Daryl. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, and my man Steven C coming through with another super chat, just racking up those extra entries. I like it, bro. And he said,
I gotta say, go Harrison Barnes because he's got the Kings logo too. That's what's up.
Nice. Yeah, man. I still remember that Kings team with like, man. Actually, so the guy who hooked up the big time interview for me that's going to be coming soon, my man David Hess. He actually, as he's at the cannabis, it's like MJ Biz convention going on in Vegas right now, and he was walking around and shows me a picture of him and C-Web kicking it. And made me think of that team that they had that used to compete with the Lakers back in the day. The C-Web, Mike Bibby. I mean, then they ended up Bibby was killing it. And who else they had? They had Peja on that team.
They had Stojakovic, right? Yeah.
Peja Stojakovic, fire.
Yeah. I remember what was it? My whole family's Warriors fans, and I got one of my older cousins, bro, because of that team. You know what I mean? Like he just loves the Kings till this day.
They were so good. It was a shame that they could never take down the Lakers. But apparently, you know, there was one of those game 7s I was like under question with like the game being fixed by refs and shit like that. So like that's why the Kings never made it. The literal like the refs were paid off in some of those games.
Damn.
Big scandal has come back around after that. Well, now to the question, though. We all reminisced about the Kings, and that was a dope-ass squad. So we got Bridgewater, if he's good to go, or Matt Ryan. Denver should have the ball a lot, and with Cleveland missing so many offensive players. I'm going Matt Ryan over Bridgewater.
Yeah, because, like, I understand his logic. Broncos are going to have the ball a lot. Yeah, they're going to have it a lot. If this game script is they're going to be winning, they're going to be running more. You know what I mean? The necessity to throw the ball isn't going to be there in his version. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Calvin Ridley's back, right? Is that correct?
Yeah. And the Falcons defense is still going to be bad. So, you know, give me the pass attempts with Matt Ryan.
I gotta go with Matt. The homer in me wants to take my beloved Teddy B, but I gotta go Matt Ryan. But I do agree with that game script completely. That's why I bet that way. I do expect the Denver Broncos to have the ball quite a bit more.
Yeah.
And my man Steven C throwing in another super chat to make sure he gets to mention greatest 6 man ever, Bobby J.
Nice, Miss Steve.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man. I'm torn, honestly. I gotta admit, I'm torn between my Mavericks, watching Luke tonight, and watching my Broncos on that. I got some because that's on different apps for me, so I can't really switch back and forth. I have to bust out the phone, watch one on one and one on the other.
Oh yeah, you know what I mean.
There we go. And Stu asked, "How old's the little one, Bogey? How many months now?"
Oh, 4 months now.
Yeah, getting huge.
Yeah, she's our big chunk.
Big BS said I'm hoping to hear the baby's first words.
Green Bay Packers.
They're gonna be sit them.
All right, let's see. We got like maybe 2 or 3 more questions in here. All right, Cole, since we skipped you before, let's get to Cole's question here. Kamara, Hendo, Swift, Cordarrelle pounder with cheese.
I like that one. That's a good one.
And we got to start 3.
Okay, so
his name is CP3.
We're going Hendo and Corduroy. I forget the rest that he said.
Kamara's the first one. You definitely
I gotta go Kamara.
So Swift is the sit.
Oh yeah, Swift there, man. Damn, and that's Swift's.
Is Hendo Henderson? Is that who that is for sure?
Yeah. Daryl.
Yeah. You gotta go. Yeah. Sit Swift.
That'd be who I say here.
I mean, you know what though? Here's the thing,
That's like such a revenge game, dude. The Rams, Lions. I mean,
and the Rams line is pretty good. For what it's worth, you know what I mean.
Big Tom said start 2, Brady, Winston, Wentz. All right, super flex or a 2 QB league, one of the two, but I like it. I'm going Brady.
Brady
I'm going Winston.
Yeah, Brady wins. Brady wins.
I think
I got one for Brady Winston and one for Brady Wentz.
I'm gonna go Brady as well because, like, you know, they even though as much as they run, they'll still throw to the running backs over there in Indy, and they're playing my Niners. Prime time. I like Carson in this spot. You know what I mean? And then on the flip side, Winston. I love this matchup. I think he shreds them up, but there's also a high probability that Kamara runs that thing in every time they're down there.
You can.
Heard that.
Definitely can happen. All right, so we're going to do one more question, and then don't forget, we're going to be back here in a little more than an hour, so at 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific, getting you ready for the pregame. So if I didn't answer your question, I just put the link in the chat right now. Just make sure you tap in there. And my man Patty, last question here. Elijah Mitchell, Miles Sanders, or Mike Davis?
Let's ride Sanders on the ceiling train, baby.
I'm going Mike Davis here. I'm going Mike Davis. The Dolphins have been giving a booty on the ground every week.
I'm going Davis as well. Yeah, just I see the Falcons coming back strong right here. And
Davis
Dolphins,
but 50% of the snap count usually, right? So
yeah.
That's already what Mitchell's probably going to get at best. You know what I mean? So I'm, and then Indy's not the great. It's not a good matchup at all. You know what I mean? So
yeah, and Davis has been getting like 60, anywhere from like 60 to at least 67% of the snaps, at least the last 4 weeks. So
yeah, the PPR man, Sanders is going to catch more than Davis. I promise you that. So you should. I would target Sanders.
You know what else is crazy too? Is like that's another team that's giving a booty on the ground too, the Raiders. And then how do you defuse a pass rush, right? Or you defuse it with like getting the ball out quick. We're gonna need to depend on it coming through the air for Sanders because they're just not giving him rush attempts. You know what I mean? Like it's just the truth. Like, you know what I mean? They're not giving him attempts.
And Axelcution sneaking in that super chat right at the end. Good looking, bro. You got that extra entry into the Highsmith jersey with that $5 super chat. And you got a question in here. He said, and before that said, been hit with injuries, but 5-1 gang going strong.
There you
go. PPR as well.
Excellent execution. There we go.
Yeah, I was offered Mike Evans, Ridley for Evans or Keenan. Hold on, wait.
Evans and Keenan.
So Mike Evans, Ridley.
So yeah, he's getting offered either Ridley or Keenan for Evans.
Yeah, okay.
You know what? I like Ridley. I would do that. But it's a gamble, but I like Ridley. Like before the London game, before he didn't play the London game, he was 4th overall in targets at the position. It's going to happen.
So his current wide receivers are Evans, Woods, Cooper, and Michael Thomas.
I like Evans. Keep what you got, man. Evans, he has the highest percentage out of all the receivers. He has more red zone targets than any other receivers. So I would just keep Evans.
So I probably will never do like a straight up wide receiver for wide receiver trade. I just usually won't. Like it usually ends up not moving the needle enough for me. If I was going to do one of these guys, it would be Ridley, but it's definitely a gamble. You're just hoping that it's, whatever personal things were going on in his life, that the week off, like he got to take care of some shit, and you're really just buying the stock really low, quote unquote, for Ridley, and he can only go up.
And
the Buccaneers have a way better offense. Their defense sucks. They're going to have to throw the ball a lot,
I say keep Evans as well.
I totally agree, but I also like, it's like 1A, 1C situation in Tampa, right? And I think Calvin Ridley's just going to be a guy who soaks up way more targets than a Mike Evans would, and you have him the rest of the way theoretically. That's why I say him. You can say the same thing for Allen, but Allen's off this week. You get Ridley, you have him the rest of the way now. You know what I mean?
What I would try to do if he wanted to upgrade somewhere, I guess I would just try to shoot higher than Ridley. I would do Evans.
He has Patterson too, so that's a true stack on the Falcons. You're not, some weeks are gonna hurt.
Right? He has Patterson there. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Get it all.
yeah, I mean,
I'd rather
over
have
there.
Patterson than Ridley. I mean, that's me personally. I'd rather have Patterson than Ridley. So
Yeah, Patterson's like unguardable right now. It's really hard to find someone who can actually keep up with them. And they're running him out of the slot and out of the backfield and all crazy types of shit. You don't even know what he's gonna do.
and if it's on sleeper, he's got dual designation, and like you have that dual designation the rest of the season. I wouldn't worry about Ridley. So, and yeah,
Yep.
Keenan's on bye. So pretty simple answer for me.
Yeah, that is a stay put after careful deliberation. After careful deliberation, that's a strong stay put. I mean, he has a lot of variety there. There's Robert Woods. You know, all these guys are connected to offenses that we like in fantasy, and then Patterson is that offense basically. So, yeah, you're right. I mean, because now that I think about it, I'm banking on Calvin Ridley being what I project him to be, and that's not guaranteed. You know what I mean?
Yep. There we go. All right, so we'll be back about an hour and a half. At least I will be. We'll see if anyone wants to jump on with me and getting you ready for the pregame. And before we get out of here, Iggy, why don't you tell everybody where to find you at?
Iggy's fantasyandbetting.com, just like it sounds, one word, man. While they're signed up for the Patreon, I've been really hitting for people that don't even watch sports. I do betting. I'm here for your legal sports needs. Tonight, I like to always get into IDP prop, man. 3.5 tackles plus assists for Ward. I think Sutton's going to get targeted a lot. You can find me on social media at IDP IGGY or IDP_IGGY or Iggy's Fantasy and Betting. On Facebook, you can find me here. On Thursdays, you're going to start being able to find me with this crew on Mondays as well. Live shows on Mondays and Thursdays on Twitter, Facebook, and the YouTube. You can find all that stuff on the website, man. Once again, Iggy's fantasyandbetting.com.
And no execution, it's IGG.
Like Azalea, unfortunately. She ruined my name. Yeah, like Ziggy, but no Z, you know.
There we go.
Oh, look at the on it, man.
He said IDP Eggy. Let me put it in here. How you just so execution knows.
I appreciate you asking though. It is kind of confusing.
When I read execution, I swear to God, that's good. That's Axl Rose, and we're giving Axl Rose fantasy advice. That's execution.
There you go. Oh, okay. He said I know. I'm just poking fun. All right, he's messing with you.
Okay.
All right, and then Steven C, my man, getting another one in here. He said, just noticed B Water had 4 turnovers and still dropped 18. Said I have NFL Thursday Night Fever. B Water, have a good floor because I want in on this game.
I know the feeling. You always want a guy. Just do it, man. Just go ahead and do it. I think that Sutton's going to catch at least 1 touchdown. And so if he gets some yards running, if he gets a lot of yardage, it'll be worth it, man. It's a bye week, so just go with it.
Yep. The Browns have been all right, but they still haven't been able to cover anybody like on the outside. So that's either way, they got that working in their favor for sure.
I mean, yeah, Patrick, Fant, Sutton, somebody's going to be open. I mean, somebody's going to be open. I mean, maybe Brown. We just talked about Brown. Maybe he's going to get out there and get open as well.
Yep. Hell yeah. All right. Well, we are getting up out of here. Thanks for hanging with us. I'll be back in an hour and a half for this Q&A, getting you ready for Thursday games. Peace out, everybody. We'll see you later.
Peace.
Take care.